Vital game for the Saints at the Whitten Oval. The Roy's just one win for the season. Maybe they've won their last game. Atkins underneath it. Opportunity for Carter, was nearly held in the clinches like a wet bunker at Royal Melbourne, and Harvey steams out of the centre with a footy. Elliott, long hand pass, not really effective. Finally picked up out there for the Saints by Aussie Jones. Ball comes back towards the half-forward line, a push. Brown, now it's Vidovic. Saints in numbers. Harvey takes it from Beveridge, gets it back again. Leading possession gather in the competition. Up he goes towards full forward. Brown has a shot at goal. Off target, low, nearly. Paxman. Umpire says play on. Snap at goal by Barry Hall. He likes it, and the goal umpire says full points. A great start to the Saints. Almost thought the ball might have been over the line for a rush behind when Lowe missed the mark. The call was play on, and Barry Hall, a relative rookie, was able to put it through there. Must have been very close.
Again, Pete, it really started out with Robbie Harvey. He was the link man there, picking up a couple of hand passes and running with the player. And as you called it, he's picking up about 30 possessions a game and the leading possession getter in the competition.
So Barry Hall playing his third game for the season. Gets the first goal for the Saints and they're away. This time it's Fitzroy from the centre bounce. Atkins long into half forward. McCarthy is caught behind Wakeland. Gets it to the ground well does Wakeland. Comes back in again. The forward handball intercepted by Hogg. And the ball runs towards the boundary line and over that line and out of bounds. So Jeff Hogg, former Richmond captain, possibly playing his last year of league football. Jamie Shanahan, his direct opponent. Vidovic and Primus. Primus with many years of league football in front of him. It's blocked up there. Rombotis is in on the bottom. Zilla there with him from St Kilda. And umpire Andrew Coates decides to bounce the ball right on the 50-metre line. Forward half of Fitzroy. St Kilda 1 goal. Fitzroy yet to score.
Burke off half a step almost. Mellington gets overrun, stands his ground well, comes up with the footy. Opportunity for Boyd. Now the Saints can move it well through Paxman. The hand pass came from Chandler up towards centre half forward. A marking contest right on 50. Aussie Jones goes off the ground. Burke gets it back to him. Still he goes, Jones, from the muddy left centre wing. Not a bad sort of a kick. Umpire calls play on. Ball is shuffled out of bounds past Luke Beveridge for a throw-in at the Saints' left half-forward position. Number 4, Joel Smith, famous number at Moorabbin, worn by Darryl Baldock, and of course more recently by Tony Lockett. And the Sun makes a welcome appearance at the Whitten Oval. Lowe doesn't have to get off the ground. Pike kicks towards centre wing. Hogg looks for a free kick. There is none there according to the umpire. And so Fitzroy, having moved it, oh, somebody's lost a boot.
Here's Danny Morton, the Fitzroy player, just now with Justin Peckett there, number 1, number 34, Danny Morton without the boot.
So throw in. Ball, says the crowd. Hogg tries some aerial ping pong. Now Peckett. Short left footer. Keeping your feet today is going to be a little bit difficult. Breaking away is Johnson. Johnson up towards the muddy midfield, although it does bounce a little bit better there where the covers have been. Bardsley and Atkins, good tackle by the latter. The kick is towards half forward. Brown caught, dropped it, and Pike is able to clear for Fitzroy.
Martin Pike, the leading kick getter for the club, kicks in. Mellington in the front position at centre half forward, takes the mark. Players running back towards the goal square for Mellington. He looks for Dwyer, the ex-Saint, pushed away from by Young, but only as far as Chandler. His little kick up into the air, and Vidovic stands his ground in defence off the Burke. Burke towards the member stand side of the Whitten Oval finds Brown. Very good diving mark. Off to Harvey. Harvey involved in the first goal for St Kilda. Tosses the ball directly across the ground to Young, and he's got as much space as he wants. Touches it down once. Peckett lends support. Drives it in. It's over the top. It's going to bounce in the square and slip through. It's there. Young's goal.
Harvey with the assist again.
So 2 goals to St Kilda, 2 goals straight for Fitzroy yet to score.
As you said, Terry, I mean, Robert Harvey plays such an important part in this St Kilda team. He's kicked the ball to the space for Matthew Young, and Young's run into an open goal and kicked it straight from 55 or 60 out. But you can see the ball skid through there quite a bit. It really is quite heavy in patches out there, especially where the sand has been placed. There's water actually lying on top of the sand, so it's very, very wet underfoot.
So Matthew Young, the former Hawk, gets the Saints' second goal. Again, Harvey in the thick of things. Fitzroy have had a bit of the footy. They haven't been able to capitalise up forward. Here he is again, Harvey, leading possession gatherer in the competition. Well, leading in disposals means the same thing, I suppose, really. Coach McLeod and Humphrey Smith. Derek Humphrey Smith. Sort of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? And if he wasn't umpiring, he'd have to be playing for Melbourne or Hawthorn. And we have Devonish Mears a long time ago. Primus.
A long time ago.
Yeah, he held the record for the longest name until Dipper came along, I think. That's a free kick. It's going Fitzroy's way. Ball taken away and driven long by Johnson. No mark at half forward or on the edge of the square. Hand pass intended for Hogg. Mellington's there across to Atkins inside 50. Should be Fitzroy's first goal. And he's kicked it. Great goal. So the Lions hit back 2 goals to 1. And despite the very wet and muddy conditions, the standard of play not too bad. St Kilda by 6 points.
Johnny McCarthy really cool in a crisis there to get the handball over the top for Simon Atkins to kick the goal. So a cool head in that sort of environment was very, very handy.
So Simon Atkins, his 4th goal for the season. It's certainly no stranger to this ground, the Whitten Oval. Having played 127 games with Footscray.
A few under you, Terry.
A few under me, and some very good ones in these types of conditions, John. So back in the centre bounce. Primus, Vidovic, it's down. Cripps is the player there with the long sleeve for St Kilda. Burke kicks it off the ground high. Young does the spoiling for the Saints. Falls in the path of Primus. He in turned the wrong boaters. Carter couldn't collect it. Joel Smith spinning out of trouble for St Kilda. To Burke, to that man Harvey. Gets the kick in. This time it's Australian Johnson. What skills shown by this young man. And up he goes. Takes the Saints defence on himself. Spins the ball on out to Dent. He has Primus, won't quite reach him there, and Zilla charges the ball down right on the boundary line. Dent does the tackling, pushes Jones over the line, and another push by Primus on Beveridge. And Luke Beveridge, one of the great receivers of free kicks. This is his 24th free kick for the year.
Well, you wouldn't argue with that one, would you? Come on.
But he gets himself right in there, doesn't he? So Beveridge towards low, in the front position, Paxman's his opponent. Ball spun back around from defence. Jones drops what he should have taken. The ricochet kick there from Chandler falls out in the favour of Atkins. He off the ground again. It's Mellington and Elliott. Mellington, the big man, in trouble in the mud. Wrapped up by Elliott. The ball's allowed to play on by the umpire. So Harvey steps in, shows how he can use the cool crisis. Spinning around, Vidovic finally gets it clear of the area. It's going to be tough and tight all day there. Bamford coming through, very courageous. To Morton, pushes on forward. Dwyer trying to read the play over the back. Has done so. He's clear inside 50, but a poor kick. Shanahan in the front position on McCarthy. Bardsley, St Kilda tied up through defence with Jones.
Aussie Jones has kicked towards the member stand side here at the Whitten Oval. Burke, and he marginally behind his teammate Harvey in disposals for the year. That won't go down as one of his better ones, though, and it's out of bounds. Between wing and right half forward for Fitzroy. Sun making, as I said, a welcome appearance here at the Whitten Oval, but we'll need many hours of sunshine to dry this ground out. Primus taps down. Atkins had a mid-air shot. Elliott. Now Aussie Jones takes the hand pass from Smith. That may be out of bounds. It is out of bounds, right next to the players' race. And the throw-in on centre wing. Good mid-winter's day for footy. The smell wafting up of the hamburgers from downstairs. What more could you want? Primus, Atkins. Past Burke. Young, one of St Kilda's goal kickers. Gets the hand pass away. Zilla kicks to half forward, or low, nearly. Couldn't complete the mark. Going in pretty solidly was Dent. the umpire will ball it up right on the 50-metre line. St Kilda's left half forward flank. Paxman and Lowe. Won by Stewie Lowe, intended for Harvey. He picks it up. He's had a hand in the 2 goals so far. He has a ping at them himself, and he's put it through for the Saints' third. Well, I've missed what he's done in the last 3 weeks, but his performance today and before that, you'd have to say it'd be some sort of a shot for the Brownlow, wouldn't you?
Well, he'd have to be a very, very serious shot for the Brownlow, Pete. But we've said it earlier, and we'll probably say it a number of times during the day. He just works so hard under the packs, and in these conditions, it's just ideally suited for him. And being the leading possession kicker in the competition, I suppose that's what you'd expect in these conditions. But he is just such a hard worker.
So Robert Harvey, 7 disposals already at this stage of the game. Kicks St Kilda's third goal. 3-1's the scoreline. Atkins working there with Pike in the centre of the ground to try and get it clear for Fitzroy. They stay at it, and Atkins comes the third time, wins it clear, pushes up into the forward line. McCarthy in the front position takes the mark. John McCarthy, Drew's centre half forward position into Carter. Carter, Bendigo under 18s last year. Drops in short. Atkins coming back on down the ground. Atkins has already picked up possessions throughout. So 5 kicks. Just checking with the umpire, ensuring he knows exactly where the mark is. This has given St Kilda the chance to get down into defence, block it up. So it's tossed up towards the square, and Matthew Young. Very good player for St Kilda this year. Made his debut in round 3 and he's played every game since. To Elliott, former Fitzroy player, drives long towards the wing on the outer side. Hall's his target. He overruns the ball. Wharf there for Fitzroy, but Wakeland kicks it on the ground to Everett. Hall still in the contest, tosses it around. It's half forward flank, threatening for St Kilda, but there's the skipper. Boyd palms the ball off to Johnson, in turn to Dent, and Fitzroy are away.
Dent short pass. Plenty of options across half back. Barker nearly got caught. Pike. Now it comes to Chandler. Short pass into the sand, and he finds Hoggy. Almost a Bronx cheer for the former Richmond captain. Atkins outside 50. McCarthy. Good spoil by Peckett. Chance for Morton. He's slung. Back to the back pocket player in Peckett. Peckett's kick is a short one, intended for Young, who seems to be everywhere. Kicked a goal earlier in the quarter from left half back. He kicks towards centre wing. Ball punched away there by Matthew Dent. It's out of bounds at that location. Throw in with 10 minutes left in the first quarter, so we're halfway through the opening stanza here at the Western Oval. Scoreboard showing St Kilda 3 and Fitzroy 1. 12 points the difference in favour of the Saints. Still looking at a position in the 8. There's really only one left up for grabs. And a bit of a box on behind play. It's Primus and Vidovic.
I don't know if Lazar could afford to be in there. He was up on a report charge some 2 weeks ago. Was cleared of the charge.
McCarthy coming off the ground. So ball up centre wing, Primus. Couldn't find a teammate with the punch. Snared down there by Chandler. Gives it off to Atkins. Always dangerous from this range. It's going to be close. Dwyer against his former club. Barnsley goes off the ground. Still Dwyer. He's got to try to beat 2 of them. Mellington a chance. Kicked 6 in a game recently. The Saints defence working overtime and working well. And Mick Dwyer comes again, but the ball is out of bounds right on 50. And a throw in at Fitzroy's left half forward flank.
So Fitzroy the 1 goal. St Kilda have 3. Just these last couple of minutes, Fitzroy very much threatening their goal face. Hogg to do the ruck work, it drops down. Jones a quick give out to Young. He in turn towards Smith. Marty Worry just onto the ground, very aggressive in at the ball, picks up the free kick. Played his first game for the year last week. 3 games late last season. In short finds Barker. Floating down the ground from defence, John Barker. Where the goals are though. He has kicked 3 goals in the game this year.
former occupant of the jumper would just about kick it from there, wouldn't he, Bernie Quinlan?
Well, let's see how the prodigy goes. It's right to the line. It falls short. The spoil has hit the behind post as the boundary umpire rightfully indicates here. So a boundary thrown right in the forward pocket for Fitzroy. And really the tactic here from Matty Primus has to be to get the ball over the back into some space. Mellington, though, brings it down in front, just into the heavy traffic. Carter to Hogg. Hogg handballs as he's slung. Dents in path of it. Wrapped up in the Smith tackle. In turn to Nick Carter. He's pushed it up. Mick Dwyer has to do a lot of work against some tall timber. But you're just too short, Mick. Jamie Shanahan stands strong in defence and takes the mark. 97 games. Fantastic effort. Every game this year, Shanahan drives out to half back. Primus, great jump over the top of Burke, unable to complete it. Dents there for Fitzroy, sat on by Hall. St Kilda trying to work it out. Pike for Fitzroy to Chandler, tosses on out. Wharf running onto the ball, couldn't control it. St Kilda defence standing up firm. Fitzroy won't let it go. It's spinning the handballs. Pike eventually to Dent.
Dent outside 50. Pass needs to be pinpoint from there. Mellington got two hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. Saints are going to come away with the footy. Elliott's kick nearly at the boundary line. Pike, oh, lovely blind turn by the big fella. Plenty of room. The pass is on. Mellington on the end of it and takes the grab.
Mellington just starting to get away from Jamie Elliott on a couple of occasions, John.
Yeah, and it was great vision by Marty Pike then to see him at the top of the square, because it really wouldn't have been a good option to kick it long into the goal square, because I think Matthew Young was down there, but to see Anthony Mellington out, the angle's not too bad, kicking from about 35, 38 metres, so he shouldn't have any trouble with the distance.
Well, kicks the same, virtually 32 Fitzroy, 29 to St Kilda. 21 hand passes to the Saints, 24 for Fitzroy, so they've had plenty of the footy so far, but they still trail by 12 points. Mellington from 40 metres directly in front. He's missed. He might have missed a lot. Right on the goal umpire, one behind. So the first behind of the match, kicked by Anthony Mellington. 1-1 to 3 goals. The difference back to 11 points. Justin Peckett will kick in. He favours the outer side. Kick drops a little bit short. Could have been worse for St Kilda. Matthew Young off the ground. Keogh and Wharf. Hall looks for a free kick. Umpire says play on. Hand pass out to Barker. It came from Dent. Wharf tracks it to the boundary line. Picks it up cleanly on left centre wing. Mellington again finding some space. He did well.
Downfield free kick, Pete.
Too far out to score from here. Gives it plenty. Vidovic at the back. Out-muscled by Primus. And on a day like today, you really do have to play in front. That kick just dropped a little bit short and Primus in perfect position to mark it. So a chance to make the difference 5 points.
Matthew Primus has had a great year this year. He's played 16 out of their 19 games to date. Today's his 17th, and he's averaging 17 odd hit-outs per match. So in terms of the ruck strength in the competition, he's right up amongst the best.
Kicking isn't, though. Let him down, and one behind. Kicked by Matthew Primus, grandson of the late and great Rich Hickey at Geelong. And the difference 10 points with 6 minutes remaining in the quarter.
St Kilda coach Stan Elves has taken Peter Everett off for a bit of a talk on the telephone. Rod Keogh has come on as his replacement. Justin Peckett returning to the side this week. One of 5 changes to the Saints lineup, and it's a perfect kick from that player to Robert Harvey on towards the wing. Kick right up against the line, and there's Keogh under pressure from Wharf and over line and out of bounds.
5 and 3 to Harvey so far, and we've still got 6 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Brad Boyd is his direct opponent, and the other matchup is Chandler with Nathan Burke. So Brad Boyd certainly will have his work cut out with Harvey. Boyd, unfortunately, a very injury-riddled season. 4 times the Fitzroy captain has injured his hamstring this year. Here they go again. Primus in the front position, right hand down. Beveridge is in there first. The clean handball to Smith. Wheels around towards centre forward, but Johnson very well in front of Zilla. Zilla holding him up, Johnson wanting to go back. The umpire right there. Very much in control, Andrew Coates. to Boyd. Pushes on wider still to Dent. Looks downfield to centre half forward. Nothing there. Actually just gives it to Robert Harvey. Perhaps you could give it to a St Kilda player, but anyone bar this man. Harvey, half forward. He's looking for low. Strong work there from Fitzroy. Not happy at all because Baldwin, I think it is, getting up. No, it's Johnson.
Johnson and Zilla.
Well, it's a little bit of carryover from the previous encounter. So at this stage, the score is 2 Johnson, Zilla 0. To Barker. Takes the ball, plays along the wing to half forward. Mellington's caught behind. Now he pushes into front. Well played by Wakeland. To Jones, getting back to give support. He in turn to Shanahan. In towards the centre. Hall has to be the target. Atkins does the spoiling at the Williamstown beach. Down right there. Wharf. In turn to Barker. Out wide. Mick Dwyer's his target. It's he and Bardsley in as much ground as they want. They work hard at it. Cripps for St Kilda, but it's Bamford. Tosses it up in the air for St Kilda. Getting back, Justin Peckett. Feeds off, and away goes Nathan Burke.
Peckett to Burke, past Dwyer. Kick to centre wing. Keogh and Wharf low. Came at his opponent pretty solidly. He's okay. Barker takes the hand pass at centre wing. Straight to Vidovic, who just slipped it in front of Primus to take the mark. Good deal between those two so far. No love lost between the pair. Over the top, Carter. Atkins, a little give. Pike to right half forward. Fitzroy looking all right. Rombotis kicks to Dwyer or Mellington. Not enough carry on the kick. Saints are going to get out of danger. Their defence has been working well. Because Fitzroy have had a lot of the ball down there. Zilla again to Harvey. Best on ground so far. That's possession number 9. Paxman and Lowe, both a long way from goal. Lowe to Keogh. Not a terrible kick, really. It was certainly looked that way off the boot. Jones in front. No, it wasn't. It was Joel Smith. And that's out of bounds on the full.
Tony Brown just coming off there, now being carried off actually an ankle injury, and he was caught in the deep sandy mud here.
Yes, I was just wondering
centre wing
about that before when players were ploughing through there. Injuries could be, the attrition rate could be high here. Actually a throw in. Paxman won it. Ball kicked down towards inside 50. Everett. Kicked the ground, the little toe poke that didn't come off. Pike trying to go for the boundary line. Eventually ball kicked up towards the goals and a rush behind was the end result to the Saints. It's their first behind of the day. 3-1 to 1-2. Difference back to 11 points. 3 minutes remaining in the quarter. Atkins to kick in.
Carter off, Baldwin on.
Simon Atkins, Tasmanian. I know it'd be the wrong thing to say. He'd be used to these conditions in Tasmania, so I won't say it. Anderson, the former Hawk, 2 premiership sides with Hawthorn. And Atkins stands his ground well. He knew Burke was not far away, and he was correct. Simon Atkins, revelling in the mud. On to Paxman. Game number 99. Paxman to Hogg. Punched away by Shanahan against his former club. We say that a lot now, don't we? Boyd. Crouches holding the ball. And away goes Jeff Hogg.
Hogg on the left foot to half forward. Mellington with the body work, controls the ball. The tackle from Wakeland was good in the end. Pressure from Dwyer, not enough to stop St Kilda pushing it back forward. Keogh aggressively, but just too aggressively, says umpire Derek Humphrey-Smith.
Those free kicks just have to be paid, Terry. The fella's sitting under the footy. He's a lamb to the slaughter if that free kick's not paid.
So the big fella from hard up on the wing kicks to centre half forward for Fitzroy. It's over the back. Rombotis has the opportunity. Just a little toe poke along the ground. The pressure from Young was good. St Kilda defence has numbers. It's Nathan Burke. Tosses on wide and have a guess. Number 35 for St Kilda. Once again, 7 kicks now. But this time misses his target, Stewie Lowe. Lowe playing out at centre half forward this week. Peter Everett in at full forward. So Lowe will do the ruck work right on the centre wing on the outer side against Primus. Lowe just knocks it down to the front. Zilla, but there's a free kick back behind the play. Whatever the reason, Rowan Wharf now has the ball. Fitzroy has some freedom. He gives it to Primus. The intern feeds over to Paxman and run through the centre of the ground. This is looking a good build-up for Fitzroy. Young meets the ball. St Kilda have numbers. The odds are 3-5. And Young happy to see it over line out of bounds.
5-3.
5-3. Yeah. Well, I never was all that good with my mathematics, Pete.
No, well, you're only a school teacher. Throw in on centre wing in the latter stages of the first quarter. Primus has done well. Boyd, his captain, couldn't capitalise. Harvey has capitalised on everything, Robert Harvey. 8 and 3 so far, plus 3 marks and a goal.
Similar stats for Fitzroy as Simon Atkins, and Stephen Zilla's really struggling to keep running with him in these conditions.
Atkins revelling in them, isn't he? So another throw in on centre wing. Vidovic. Primus against Primus. Cue John Russo.
Yeah.
The umpire signalled holding, and he's a lot closer than we are. But in those ruck contests, they've basically been given authority to try to clean them up if they get a little bit untidy during the game, so it may have been a bit soft.
1 minute left in the quarter. Oh, gee, Everett came Johnson pretty solidly there. Johnson stood his ground well. He's at right half back for Fitzroy. The Lions trailing 1-2 to 3-1. Oh, too high. He brushes the tackle well. He's got him twice. Anderson and Pike. That is a real mud heap there. Sandy Roberts' pigs would be happy in that. Another ball up.
Oh, and I can tell you, it's not the sweetest smelling mud either, that stuff.
Oh. It's not your aftershave, Terry.
No.
Zilla missed it. Chandler. Knock on out to Morton. Still he goes. And McCarthy had it, lost it, regained it. Looking for a hand pass. Might decide on a kick. No, he won't. He's going to give it to Atkins. Again, not a great hand pass. He nearly got poleaxed as he went down. Mellington, a fumble. And there's the siren. So Fitzroy doing some pretty good work close to the bell, but not able to capitalise on the excellent work of Simon Atkins. And at quarter time, the Saints are leading 3-1-19 to Fitzroy 1-8. Start of the second quarter at the Whitten Oval. The Saints leading by 11 points, 1-2 to 3-1. Statutes so that Fitzroy's had plenty of the football and a lot in their forward line inside 50. They haven't been able to capitalise with St Kilda's defence working overtime. Chandler. Burke comes hard at the football and Hogg. Shanahan, a little gift to Young, who's been good in defence and also kicked a goal. Anderson started on the bench. Dwyer, Young again. Atkins with Harvey, leading possession gatherer. Bardsley looks for a free kick, arguably should have got one, but not according to the umpire. Young again. Unloads with a hand pass. Cripps. Kick was well smothered by Wharf. He might get another shot at it, Cripps. Started to match in a long sleeve jumper. It's changed to a sleeveless version. Keogh's kick is to half forward. And that's a mark to Stewie Lowe. Interesting to note that Dean Anderson is on Simon Atkins now, Peter, so Stephen Zilla's been moved. Everett missed the mark. Umpire has blown the whistle. One behind. The umpire saw that Luke Beveridge had the ball and Peter, and so he signalled player to advantage, but as you can see, the advantage wasn't all that substantial given that he kicked a point. Slid down the ground pretty well, played 31 games for Footscray as well as 40 odd for Melbourne. So early stages of the second quarter, Boyd underneath the footy takes the mark. Fitzroy captain, non-committal at his club next year in the press this morning. Bears would naturally be hoping that he'd be joining them. Best and fairest winner here. Atkins went without it. Hogg a chance. Paddles it further forward. Vidovic's there. Up and under to Burke. Harvey. Possession number 12. Kicks to centre wing. Picked up and kicked quickly by Joel Smith down towards half forward. Beveridge and Johnson. Beveridge off the ground, backs up well, backs his judgment. Oh, might get another shot at goal around Paxman. And the mark in front of goal, taken by Joel Smith, runs in 8 metres out and puts it through for St Kilda's fourth.
Really too easy, that, Peter, wasn't it?
It was. The Saints starting the second quarter as they did the first with a quick goal. It's now 4-2 to 1-2.
There's no wind advantage at either end, but certainly the ball seems to be spending the majority of the time. Here we see the passenger play again with Luke Beveridge picking the ball up in these conditions quite skillfully and kicking the ball to the top of the goal square. Joel Smith finishing it off with an easy goal from 10 metres out.
So the Smith goal has St Kilda's lead now stretch out to 18 points. Umpire Andrew Coates decides to throw the ball up in the centre of the area. Down it goes, the quick kick out there by Anderson, right up into the forward line for St Kilda. Beveridge is in there tackling. Lowe's asking the question of the umpire, but he allows it to go. Johnson steps out of trouble. Handball to Atkins, falls short of that play, but Atkins is good enough to get it back up to Johnson, to Carter, to the run of Baldwin. Coming through half forward, settles, decides to go long, but Mellington slips over at the critical stage. Jamie Elliott cleaning up for St Kilda. Out wide, Jones is his target, but beats him over the line and out of bounds. Austin Jones, certainly one of the young players that St Kilda's future hinges upon. He's played every game this year. Made his debut in round 1 of last season. Primus down to Boyd. Right foot kick, high in the air, Peckett. It's a good mark, courageous mark. Coming back, returning to the side this week after a collarbone injury. Missed 2 weeks as a result of that. Now back into the side, drives the wing position, low from behind. Wharf was to be the step ladder. Primus. Jones picks it up as if it's dry. On the left foot, round it comes. Pike from behind, low. Low just bottles it down in front of him. Pike stays upright in the contest, now goes to ground. It's going to be tied up here. That's got to be a free kick to Robert Harvey.
Great
with
call.
Minimal effort. Wharf was never going to clear that ball away. Harvey did exactly what the umpire would want of him. Just a legal tackle is all that is required. Off he goes. A little bit fancy just there at the moment, Robert, in those conditions. Eventually to Low. His kick inside 50. Smith couldn't complete it. Chandler inside out through the legs. Johnson's in there. Burke now trying to replicate what Harvey did. And umpire Derek Humphreys-Smith decides there's too many players in there and he will bounce.
Tough conditions there, Terry. The umpires are told if the ball's moving to allow play to continue, and as you can see, the ball wasn't moving very far, but it was still moving, so waited until the ball was completely trapped before he called for the bounce.
So 4 single goal scorers for St Kilda. Atkins the sole scorer for Fitzroy. Boyd from half back. A loose ball in the centre of the ground. Primus meets Cripps there. Umpire allows it to go. Eventually the ball spills to Pike. His kick to centre half forward. McCarthy in the front position. Holt paddles it back to Dwyer. In turn to Carter. Can't get past Peckett. Pulled up in midstream, and St Kilda defence through Wakeland relieved once again.
Kick is to centre wing. Pike went without it. Keogh doesn't. Along the boundary line, guess who he's found? Harvey. Keogh provides some sort of a shepherd, and Harvey pulled up a little bit short from that confrontation. I don't know if he's got a corky or not. He does look a little bit ill of sorts. Everett with Primus. Everett in front, taps it down. Harvey, still he goes. Chandler, Burke, Atkins. Burke again. Pike, who had a good first quarter. Decked by Everett. Good solid stuff. Peckett again. This way, that way. Seems to handle the mud pretty well. Good long kick. Looking for Joel Smith. Found him, but he couldn't complete the mark. Tackling of Fitzroy, excellent. Zilla across his body. And the mark to Beveridge. You would think the umpire has paid it. Luke Beveridge, under the conditions, too far out to score. Knows that. Goes in short. Zilla had made position. He takes the mark in front of Matthew Dent. 4-2 to 1-2, 3 goals. Under the conditions, a handy lead to the Saints. Still 4 points outside the top 8. They need a couple of clubs above them. Reed, Hawthorn, Richmond, Adelaide, etc. to lose to help their cause. That's close, hit the post. Don't come any closer. So one behind by Luke Beveridge, kicked by Zilla. Beveridge kicked it to him. It's 1-2 to 4-3. With 14 minutes left in the second quarter. Pike had a very good first quarter. Off one step, kicks into space really on centre wing. Probably could have done better. Pressure from Young on Rombotis. But met solidly by Zilla. Oh, Baldwin to Johnson. Johnson runs out of space. Didn't run out of bounds though. Zilla again applies a tackle. Young comes in to help him. The umpire will ball it up on centre wing, 4-3 to 1-2.
The work ethic of Chrissy Johnson. I mean, just before when Zilla had the shot at the goal, I don't know, John, whether you saw the lead up, he laid a tackle, he laid a shepherd, and then just missed a smothered attempt, and here he is still working at it.
Yep, followed the ball all the way around the boundary line, just making sure that the second efforts were always there.
Sensational effort. Can he inspire his teammates on, Chris Johnson? Fitzroy working extremely hard in the conditions.
Every time Dean Anderson gets up from the bottom of the pack, he turns around to see where Simon Atkins is.
Hard up against the boundary line. Zilla once again brings it back inboard, lows the target. Paxman spoils from behind. Lappin just on the ground. He's the player in the forward line. Gives it off to Lowe, aiming for his first. Wrong side of the woodwork.
His first score of the day, Stewie Lowe.
4 goals for now, St.Kilda's scoreline. 20 points the margin.
Stewie Lowe, 80 goals for the year. He's had a great year in terms of goal kicking.
So Dent to do the kicking in this time for Fitzroy.
Bamford on, Baldwin off.
Slightly to the outer side. Primus and Vidovic does the spoiling. Chandler, just a little kick on in the favour of Boyd. His short kick towards Bamford, as Pete said, just on the ground. Hogg steps out on the left foot. Tossed up. McCarthy's the leader in the race for the ball. He has Wakeland's measure. Wakeland does well to make up the ground. A handball to Rombotis. He drops what he should have been able to handle. Young. Rombotis makes amends with a great other. Gives it up to Bamford on the left foot towards the top of the square. They're wrestling at it. Mellington can't complete it. He works the two there. Just flick it out, mate.
I'm sure he was trying.
Well, his hands just weren't getting down low enough there for a moment. That's all he had to do there, was just be able to keep the ball alive.
I think there were a few St Kilda hands on it to make sure he couldn't.
So the pressure now on the Fitzroy forward line. Can they make a score out of this? Hogg round onto the right foot, tosses it up in the air. The line's close. Harvey's there to lend assistance, and he's happy to dribble along that line and out of bounds.
So another possession to Harvey, 10-5. He's having a race, and a close one it is, with Atkins 10-3. The leading possession gatherer on the ground. So the Lions still very much in this match. They've had a lot of the football. Atkins and Anderson. Harvey and Hogg. Like a piece of soap. That's Wharf. Well tackled Shanahan. Chandler, tackled by Harvey, didn't have the football. Still Chandler goes. Anderson's there with him again. Burke. Good pick up. Lappin. Might have got one in the back. Saints fans out there certainly thought so. Picked up by Dent. Carter, no mark. It's out of bounds. No, it's not out of bounds. Kept in play. Now it's out of bounds.
Just while this kick's being taken, Peter, I've just got a comment on that passage of play umpired by Scotty McLaren. There were probably 6 or 7 tackles each time the ball came free, and he allowed it to continue, and that's what the footy world want. Especially in these conditions, it's very difficult to keep a cool head when you're umpiring that sort of play.
Dent with the kick. Right beneath the old coach's box. Just got the initials TW scrawled somewhere up there. Not a bad standard of match though, all things considered. Young, who's been very busy, the former Hawk. That's out of bounds. Did some very good work in the first quarter, Matthew Young, including kicking a goal. Mind you, it was delivered pinpoint by number 35. So throw in. The sandy areas here. Harvey. Quick kick. I was speaking to John Burt before the match, and he said 2 of the areas that are like that down there were brought about by the fact when they had the Legends game here, they painted the ground with non-vegetable paint. It was acrylic paint, and that killed the grass, and it didn't help the surface at all down there. Knocked down by Primus. Picked up for the Saints by Aussie Jones, who moves a lot like Robert Harvey. It's out of bounds on centre wing.
Rod Keogh just came off and Jason Cripps came on.
Well, if Austin Jones can develop into being a player of Robert Harvey's stature.
Oh, he does. He just runs like him.
Yes,
He
very
tackles
much,
like him.
very much. So here's the throw-in right on the centre wing. Paxman and Lowe with the combatants. The loose ball for Young. Out wide, Fitzroy, Johnson charging through, taking them all on. To Boyd, to Pike. He's got McCarthy in his sights. Wakeman does the spoiling. Peckett, Marty Warry off to McCarthy. He has the chance. He's got it. Fitzroy have 2 goals. McCarthy and Simon Atkins, the 2 goal scorers for Fitzroy. And they're edging closer to the Saints.
It's almost the first time Fitzroy have looked smooth as they've got the ball into their forward line. In the first quarter, they had it up in their 50-metre zone 17 times compared to St Kilda's 7. But again, I think it started from the smoothness of the Fitzroy backline with Boyd combining with Pike and running the ball through the centre and just setting it up.
So the Roys get their second, the difference back to 14 points. Bamford caught underneath it. Out it comes to Burke from Smith. Kick inside 50, there's a whistle. And while Peter Doyle has the football, the kick is going to Luke Beveridge. Tall timber down there aplenty. Everett couldn't do enough with it. Still Everett. Zilla off one step. Kicks are behind or out of bounds. It's the latter.
Matthew Lappin just had a shot at Peter Everett for not getting the handball out to him. Then he's turned around and told Everett that there was an opportunity there not taken.
I don't think I'd be going up to say that to Peter Everett.
Comparable size.
So Martin Pike with the free kick. Former Demon. He's got in short to the skipper. That won't lose him any votes. He gets it back again. Dent says go. Still he goes. Gets to 50. Tries to draw a player in Zilla. One-on-one duel on centre wing. Kicked off the ground. Jones was in that. Now Wharf. You'll need to be quick. Good tackle, Anderson. Ball jarred free in it. Paxman shoots it out. Chandler tackled by Burke. Didn't have the footy. Umpire lets it go again. Beveridge went off the ground. Boyd flips it over his head. Nathan Burke. Chandler. Oh, deliberate. Ooh. Gee.
If you'd had the view we had, I think it may have been.
Didn't disguise that too well. Anyway, the umpire says okay. Mind you, having said that, I've seen worse paid. Vidovic gets caught underneath the football. Primus wins it out. Applies a tackle. It comes to Chandler. Tries to barge his way through the pack. And Anderson has taken the mark. Well outside 50. Kicks it to the forward pocket. Stewie Lowe the target. The big hands of buckets go up. Chandler takes the mark. And the Roys are going to get clear. Well, they've been defending pretty well. They've only conceded 4 goals so far, but they've only scored 2 themselves. This man has really given them plenty of drive, hasn't he? Atkins kicks towards John McCarthy, and McCarthy held. He was slightly impeded there. The umpire says, though, no free kick. As Barry Hall prepares to come back on for the Saints. He kicked their first goal. It's a throw-in right next to the interchange gates.
Jeez, I'm not sure whether John McCarthy really wanted that ball then. Just held back momentarily as he approached the ball, and Wakeman was able to get him with the spoil. Be that as it may, the boundary throw in half forward for Fitzroy. This is a very important play for the Roy boys. Their hard work does have to be rewarded eventually.
Everett off, Hall on.
Under 8 minutes of the second quarter remaining. 1 goal apiece. Joel Smith to goal for St Kilda. John McCarthy to goal for Fitzroy. There's Smith there on screen. Atkins and Anderson. Atkins, a little bit of body work on there. Harvey, so it's a mix and match in there in tight. Harvey's in there, Atkins there as well. And Big Lazar Vidovic just overseeing all the little fellas. And picks probably the littlest of the lot, Bamford, and gives him a scruff across the ear. The umpire wanting now just to open the play up, I'm sure, and picks the free kick that he wanted. Well, I think a smart footballer would have read that one, John, that there was going to be one there, and you need to be in front.
That's right.
And Lazar comes out to be the smartest of them all and picks up the free kick, and a great kick finds Hall, Barry Hall. One of 5 changes in the St Kilda side for this afternoon. Towards Lowe. Under pressure from Paxman, couldn't complete it. Zilla bobbing and weaving. Burke, Chandler for Fitzroy, Nick Carter for Fitzroy, and again up by Andrew Coates, wants to ball it up.
Pretty difficult for everybody in there. There's not much room to move, and everybody's sort of chasing the footy and making sure their opponents are under heaps of pressure.
So the key part here is just get the ball free, not worry about getting yourself free, just get the ball out. Harvey tries to get himself out but couldn't. Push forward, Vidovic hard against the line. Hogg ensures that he does. But Vidovic can't get away with it. It's over the line and out of bounds. Been a tough year for Lazar Vidovic. An ankle injury, knee injury, suspension. Everything any man could want and not want in one season has fallen his way.
His nickname's Lucky, is it? 4-4 to 2-2. 7 minutes left in the half. Goals at a premium, not unexpectedly. Boyd couldn't get a clean possession, then goes off the ground. You'd give him a stat for that, I think, today. Elliott. Oh, careful. Young in front of Pike has the mark. Made every post a winner since he transferred from Hawthorn. Bardsley. Joel Smith with Wolf. Wolf's got the football and was legged. He comes away well. Kicks towards half forward. That's as far as it's going. Number 29 is Aussie Jones. I gave him a rap. He said he plays a bit like Harvey. Well, he can make space like Harvey. Zilla. Barker. Takes an errant hand pass. Back to Paxman. Back to Barker. Getting clear of Burke. That's a good kick under the conditions. Oh, and a good mark. Carter. Excellent mark. I suppose any overhead mark today is a good one.
Some players are still very sure-handed, even though the ball's greasy in these conditions.
Carter from right centre wing. Kicks it straight to Matthew Young. That wasn't so good. Young goes across the ground, finds Vidovic. He's not the most popular player from a Fitzroy angle. Lappin, oh, mark, free kick, whatever. Against Pike, he's got the mark anyway, and he's also got 50, the first 50 of the day.
It's fair enough, Peter. Andrew Coates has actually told Martin Pike to let go. Martin Pike trying to disguise the fact that he was holding the jumper, unable to disguise it well enough. Andrew Coates picked it up and pinged him 50. It's reasonable.
Lappin. Kicks to the right forward pocket, no mark taken. Chandler from Dent. Lappin again. And his disposal lets him down on this occasion because he's found Primus. Primus to Atkins, their prime mover. Great first quarter, terrific pass, mark to Johnson. And Simon Atkins having a great game, 12 and 3 so far. And as I said, an individual duel against Harvey, who's got 11 and 6. And those two guys knocking up, getting possessions. Hogg comes back onto the ground, Mellington off. Johnson kicks for goal. At least you would presume so from there. Right on 50. Low trajectory drop punt. Primus in front. And it will be rushed over the line just as Warry tried to grab it. So a rush behind to the Roys. Close to half-time. 2-3 to 4-4. 13 points the difference. 4 minutes left in the term.
So Justin Peckett to bring the ball back in. Short to Anderson. The in-turn short to Jones. St Kilda just with good clean possession now, building the ball around towards the centre wing area. Another one onto Hall. He has targets out wide. Can give it to either one of the Saints out there. Matthew Young's the one that takes it instead of Harvey. He into centre half forward. Running onto it is Cripps. Kicking along out in front. Does well. Handballs have gone. Zilla. Cripps, pressure from Bamford, not enough. Cripps gets towards Lowe. Very good play there from Paxman in front, but Lowe comes out with the ball on the left foot to the top of the square. Spoiled by Barker is effective. Fitzroy player down just behind play there. Zilla, a throw and a hit and anything you want, out it goes. Hall with the opportunity. Pressure from Fitzroy is good. Holding the ball, they cry. No, says the umpire. Chandler was the tackler, but this time it's Burke who throws it back in there. Fitzroy very committed to the ball. Beveridge stands up in the contest, tosses it up low right on the boundary line. Shapes the handball. Now the umpire blows time on. Unable to go to Harvey.
In that situation, if he plays on straight away, the umpire will allow him to do so, but if he hesitates and improves the angle and then tries to play on from the improved angle, the umpire should have blown time on prior to that to stop him from being able to take advantage.
So there's the angle. He goes and a kick across. Stuart Lowe. Lowe's first goal, Fitzroy's fifth, and now the lead is out to 19 points.
It's 81 for the year for Stewie Lowe, and really, who needs to improve the angle when you can thread it like this one? It's a banana kick straight through the middle. It doesn't look as though he had any doubt that he could kick the goal. He didn't try to run around and improve the angle, so 81 for the year, and Stewie Lowe's first goal for the day is a great one.
Barker off, Mellington back on for Fitzroy. Lowe's first goal, 34-15 with 3 minutes left in the half. Burke's kick smothered. Harvey tries to barge through. He's caught. Vidovic tackled by Primus. That will be another ball up. So the Saints gradually creeping clear. Had more of the football on their forward line this quarter. Chandler across his body, well done. Bounces it to half forward. McCarthy. Hand pass on, picked up by Carter. Carter's shot at goal is wayward at best. It's out of bounds on the full. So the free kick to the Saints will be taken by Young or Burke. It's going to be by Nathan Burke. Burke in the right back pocket. Doesn't go towards the sand trap. Kicks it back to Young on the other side of the ground. Matthew Young, a paddock to move in. And when we're out at the Whitten Oval in this day and age, we mean that literally. Aussie Jones to half forward. Joel Smith. Mellington's got him. Well, Fitzroy, you've got to hand it to them. Their endeavour is excellent, but they do break down on the forward line. Boyd to Dent. Pike says go. He does. Good long roost. Up towards the full forward line. Warwick dispossessed. Atkins reveling in the conditions. Chandler, McCarthy, nice balk around Shanahan. Short pass, well, too short actually. Intended for Primus. Johnson, 15 metres out and closing. Draws a player into the goal square. Rombotis kicks the goal. Or is it coming back?
The umpire, Scott McLaren, has pinged Matthew Primus on a shepherd behind.
It was a pretty crude shepherd too, Terry. It was arm up and made contact above the shoulder.
So, what might have been? Justin Peckett has the free kick. As the clock ticks down, under a minute left before half-time. Anderson just up from the back pocket.
He's now told to play on by the umpire. So his kick isn't a good one as a result of that pressure. Boyd to Atkins. Out wide to Chandler. Fitzroy have the opportunity here. Johnson. One hand, no.
In these conditions, you've got to use two.
There was a ball to be taken there with two hands.
He's kicking himself now. He's not happy about it.
So Johnson into the forward line. He's the second leading goal scorer at Fitzroy behind Mellington. Primus drops himself down on top of Burke. It's all tied up. So under 30 seconds and the clock going down, you'd think Fitzroy really have to snare one quickly from this ball up. Bamford. Vidovic. Atkins tries to go off the ground. Pike now has the opportunity with slips. Burke wraps him up in the tackle. It's out of bounds. Fitzroy outscored Footscray in the second half last week, and really only time beat them here at the Whitten Oval in that match. They've had opportunities in this first half this week and unable to convert in the forward line. Here's their final opportunity as we approach half-time, but there's the siren. So the ball stops inside 50 for Fitzroy. And so often in this half they've got the ball to that stage, but unable to go any further. So trailing by 19 points, they really have the work cut out in front of them for the second half.
At half-time, it's St Kilda 5-4-34, leading Fitzroy 2-3-15 at the opposite, at the Whitten Oval. At the Whitten Oval, the last half of Fitzroy and St Kilda, the 183rd and last time that these two sides will meet. Lions record reads 105 wins, 76 losses and 1 draw. After first playing in the VFL on May the 15th, 1897. A historic day, therefore, at the Whitten Oval. The Lions down by 19 points. As we begin the third quarter, Vidovic with Primus. Desire gets a couple of big mitts on it, but can't wrest it from Chandler, and so the umpire will ball it up again. He's going to throw it up. As has been the case just about right around the ground, it's very heavy. Primus wins that one. Good tackle by Peckett, but the ball jarred free in it, past Boyd and Harvey. Harvey goes down in that tackle. Saints fans looking for in the back. Boyd gives it off to Bamford. Bamford a short pass. Opportunity for Rombotis. He gets taken out of bounds, and so too does the footy by Matthew Young, and it will be a throw in Fitzroy's left forward pocket. So the Roy's needing a couple of quick goals. Goal by Stewie Lowe late in the second quarter and helped their cause, and they kicked one, Fitzroy that is, that was disallowed after Primus gave away a silly free kick. Cripps, Saints number 5 pick in the last national draft. Paxman nearly, low down. Joel Smith looking for a free kick. Zilla on the boundary line. Chance for Matthew Dent to pick it up, but it is out of bounds, and the boundary umpire will throw it in.
Joel Smith asking the question there, you've really got to pick the footy up in these conditions, Joel.
So right underneath the Terry Wheeler Memorial Coaches box. You died up there many times, Terry, they tell me.
I'm trying to find a good memory there, Pete.
And it will be a ball up.
See there, Scotty Bamford now has the job on Robert Harvey. Bamford is certainly one of the quickest players in the Fitzroy lineup. Here comes the man again, Harvey. This time just the feed on out to Joel Smith. Kicks long, lows the targets over the top of there. Tony Brown leads in the race. Will go off the ground, pokes it through. St Kilda's first for the third.
As you called it, Terry, that Robbie Harvey's feed off really opened that one up and left the opportunity for St Kilda to run the ball into an open forward line and let Brown finish it off. Harvey seems to be in amongst everything. Here we see it again. Off to Joel Smith. Tony Brown running onto it. Skillfully kicks the ball off the ground and finishes the job off. The desperation by the Fitzroy player just wasn't quite enough.
So good to see Tony Brown back on the ground. He left the arena during the first quarter with a slight ankle injury, but certainly showing no ill effects there. Anderson, quick kick out of the centre of the ground. Low runs right into a coat hanger. Up now. He'll kick from some 80 metres out from goal. Looks for Joel Smith and finds him. Very sure hands, Joel Smith. Very good technique in the marking area. Reaches for the ball as early as possible, quite prepared to jump when he has to, but this is a very well weighted kick. Just watches it into the hands. So Joel Smith for his second. Puts it across the line. Saints get 1 and 2 of the quarter.
Well, that really makes Fitzroy's task very difficult now, doesn't it, John?
If the one at the end of the second quarter didn't break their back, then you'd think the last two probably have. But I don't know. I mean, that's really loose on the Fitzroy backline. We haven't seen that for the first 2 quarters. It's probably the first time that the backline hasn't been very, very tight, and they're paying the price for it now.
So 2 quick goals to the Saints. Joel Smith becoming the first player to get 2. 7-4 to 2-3. 31 points, the difference in favour of St Kilda. The Roys through Chandler. Mellington tries to get the free kick. Atkins tries to go off the ground, neither successful. Burke. Kick to centre wing. Zilla missed it. Harvey and Bamford. Doyle. Goes close to the boundary line. In fact, he's gone over the boundary line with the kick. So a few fundamental errors by Fitzroy at the start of the third quarter. And Robert Harvey's going to take the free kick. 19 possessions so far. Stewie Lowe got his first goal late in the second quarter with a magnificent banana kick. He won't score a goal with that kick. Joel Smith, big fly. Brown missed it. Doyle a chance. Taken away by Pike. His kick up towards Lowe. Clean bowled him. Bamford. Scotty Bamford's kick around the wing. Wakeland. Johnson. Gee, it's heavy out there. Still Johnson. Can't find the teammate with a hand pass. Boyd looks for the free kick. The umpire says nothing doing. Here he is again. The two leading possession gatherers in the competition combined. Burke, 12 and 3. Not quite up with his mate today. But just as useful. Wakeland from the boundary line. Kicks well inside 50. Hall kicked the first goal of the match. He's had a couple of stints on the bench and Barker breaks clear.
Pushing out wide for Fitzroy defence. Pushed on there by Mellington into the path of Bamford. His handball is good. Fitzroy just a little bit of possession here now, but Chandler's handball cut off there. Vidovic gathers at ground level, out to Burke. The in-turn looking for Anderson. It's a foot race there. Anderson working towards the boundary line. The dive there from Chandler. And both players just basically wrestle the ball over the line and out of bounds.
2-on-1 then. Dean Anderson did well to make sure the ball was out of play.
So Anderson with the job on Simon Atkins, as you can see, right in the centre of the screen there. Now joined by the two big ruckmen, Primus down to Baldwin. Here's a right foot kick up towards centre half forward. Rombotis leads in the race for the ball from Young. The kick off the ground now really does give him the advantage. If he can gather it up, he has McCarthy, but Shanahan strong in defence. There's no risks when Jamie Shanahan's around, but he may have done it this time. Yep. Just not getting the ball out quick enough with Shanahan. Rombotis, the tackler. Been a very good player for the Roys this year in the centre of the ground, Rombotis. Kicks on up at Harvey in front of Boyd. Misses the mark. No, the umpire's paid it. Just a little bit quick on the whistle there. Harvey, Brad Boyd stands the mark. The short kick to Young. Matthew Young now still inside the defensive 50. Goes back inside to Cripps. Spinning out now to Wakeland. So St Kilda have gone directly across the ground to the exact same spot, but now on the outer side to Vidovic. His kick, Peckett's caught behind, spoils from Baldwin. And again to the boundary line and over and out of bounds. Baldwin and Peckett. Baldwin not as good a year, but in and out the side this season. Peckett one of the more consistent, except for the injuries to the collarbone this year. Great player for the Saints. The big men go out again, and Boyd breaks for for Fitzroy.
Boyd's kick just outside the centre square. Mellington. Good gather. Good skills, this fellow. Kicks at goal. He's missed. And one behind. Kicked by Anthony Mellington, his second for the day. Fitzroy badly needing a couple of goals. They trail by an even 5. Matthew Young. Lead has been made by Aussie Jones. He takes the mark just up from the back pocket. 7-4 to 2-4 at the Whitten Oval. Heavy conditions. Burke should mark and does. In front of Brett Chandler. Now decides to play on. Great vision. Vidovic takes the mark. A little give. Tony Brown took the goal at the start of this quarter off the ground. And there's the man who got his first late in the second quarter, Stewie Lowe. He's 81st for the year. Doesn't have a ping at them this time. Barry Hall was the target. Harvey back to Hall. Still Hall. Tackled by Bamford. A little give, Wakeland. That hand pass to a guy standing still, probably a good golden rule. The Roys are going to get clear. Wharf straight down the centre of the ground. An inspiring run. Wharf kicks to half forward, but that's as far as it's going. Bardsley, one of the smallest men on the ground, looks for 50. He's not going to get it. We've only had one 50-metre penalty today. Matthew Young, gee, he's knocked up getting kicks and kicked a goal in the first quarter. Brown's kick on target. Finds Joel Smith. Good Anglo-Saxon names. Beveridge. You should know this ground pretty well. 42 games with Melbourne, but 31 with Fitzroy. A fair proportion of those would have been here at the Western Oval, Whitten Oval. Zilla, quick hand pass. Snap at goal by Wakeland. And he has missed. One behind by Shane Wakeland, his first score of the day. And another behind to the Saints tally at 7-5 to 2-4. 31 points in arrears, Fitzroy.
So Matthew Dent comes in short for Fitzroy to Peter Doyle. Doyle starting on the interchange bench. Left foot towards the wing. It's Vidovic and Primus. They wrestle. The ball floats over the top. Jones, little handball to himself. Now comes back again. Atkins kick off the ground only as far as Young. And a very clean tidy up there from Young back into the centre to Zilla, to Cripps. He's going to run on to 50. He's going to have a long go at it. Lowe's dropping back to cover it. Accuracy isn't there for Jason Cripps. And just the one behind. So 7 goals and 6 behinds now to St.Kilda. Really, they have had opportunities there to be able to pick up more goals than 7 that they have at the moment. The Fitzroy kick in by Paxman. The big men fly, it comes straight back down to ground. Atkins is in there. Barker's the strong worker for Fitzroy. Cripps now looking to handball out, can't. Barker takes the spilt ball, breaks away onto his left foot.
Barker, not a long kick. And the end result of which is a mark by Peckett. Oh, Worms duck their heads. Not a great kick. Pike gives it back. Dent. It's a better one. End result much better. McCarthy kicks in towards full forward. Warry be out of bounds in front of him. It is. And the throw in 35. So yeah, about 35 metres out.
Disappointing use of the ball there from John McCarthy. He really could have made a better fist of that one.
So throw in Fitzroy's left forward pocket. The Lions trailing by 5 goals. At the back bit of it, past McCarthy. Knocked out of bounds by Zilla. McCarthy asks the umpire. But they didn't pay one in the second quarter over here, which was a lot more blatant than that. So we approach the halfway mark of the third term. The Saints needing to win. They're doing enough at the moment to suggest they will. Primus has had a good duel in the ruck. Atkins been one of Fitzroy's best players. Shot at goal down there. Came from Rowan Wharf. It's out of bounds on the full. So things not going right on the forward line for the Roys. Aussie Jones. Wakeland. Anderson. And there was almost a throw. Wharf from Carter. Doyle. Atkins. Pike. Centering kick from him. Johnson. Oh, was off before nominations. Did a similar thing in the second quarter when he went for a mark one-handed. Should have taken that one.
Oh, in 225 games, Pete, I didn't take one mark, so I can't criticise, but I'm sure Chrissy Johnson would be very upset with that because that hit him right on the button and he was unable to take the chest mark.
Easy to say from up here, but
yep.
I'm sure he would agree with you. Primus has kicked the goal. And boy, did they need that. Well, he has really worked hard. Great future ahead of him. 3-4 to 7-6.
Here we see it again. Matthew Primus averaging 17-odd hit-outs a game. Didn't get the hit-out on that occasion, but took the hand-off and converted the goal. And when
it was role reversal, actually, wasn't it, John? Because Johnson went up, Primus stayed down, and Primus got the goal.
Primus took the handball. In addition to his hit-out strength, I mean, Matthew Primus is getting 15-odd possessions per match too, so his value to the Fitzroy team is very, very important.
So 26 points now the margin. Fitzroy working to get back into the contest with that man Harvey, the little give out to Cripps. He tosses out in front of Joel Smith, the gather, the step, the poise, just gives it to Lowe. Lowe runs in, puts it into Barclay Street. The quick reply from the Saints. In a matter of seconds, the Primus goal for Fitzroy is answered by the St Kilda goal by Lowe.
Here we see it again, Joel Smith taking the ball on the first bounce, avoiding the first tackle, making it very, very easy for Stewie Lowe to convert that into a goal. Point blank range, and kicks it out to the Barclay Street end. New football coming in now.
82 goals for the year to Stewie Lowe. The century more than on the cards, you would think. Halfway through the third quarter, it's 54 to 22, so the difference back to 32 points. Chandler, well shepherded by Boyd, with the new footy down towards half forward. That man again, Young, takes the mark but is caught. Elliott off the ground. Again, St Kilda with the numbers. Hall to Burke. Burke's kick high towards Vidovic. Should have taken the mark. Doyle, well caught by, that was Smith. Primus at the bottom of the pack. He too is caught, but the umpire has decided it's not going to be a free kick for holding the ball. He will bounce it just inside the centre square. 8-6 to 3-4, 54 to 22 at the Whitten Oval, the surface of which has seen better days, but we have had a lot of rain. Pike had a good first quarter. Johnson, Shanahan dropped it. Baldwin gets it to Hogg. Hogg's caught, still got a kick at it. Peckett and Rombotis. And it will be a ball up. No, it won't. Still they go. That's Cripps to come away with it for the Saints. Gee, it was almost like a plug golf ball. There's stop. And Scotty Bamford picks it up. Short pass was too short. Boyd loops it over the top and he finds Pike.
Pike through the centre of the ground. The kick, not a good one. Front position there to Baldwin, not given. Bardsley, Johnson working in at the ball. Stepping through with strength. Umpire allows him to go now. Chandler tries to do the same. Quick kick by Baldwin, smothered by the St Kilda defence. And it's going to get wrapped up here at centre half back, surely. Umpire Andrew Coates very quickly in onto that one.
Certainly can't question the Fitzroy work ethic, can you? I mean, Chrissy Johnson then was just like a bull terrier. He was just desperate to get the footy and probably make amends for a few misses earlier in the game.
And there's not 20 around this ball, there's 22, and Carter, number 23, coming into the contest, gets the kick away, but only running it up towards the behind post, over the line and out. So again, a solid pack of players forming around this boundary throw-in. Good sign that for the St Kilda defence. Making it difficult for Fitzroy. Harvey somehow in all that fine space to get out and touch the ball down. The short kick to Burke, not a good one. Atkins, little push towards Chandler. Now back to Baldwin, to Atkins. Spins towards Hogg. Falls in front of him towards Carter. Interception by Wakeland. St Kilda wanting to clear here. Harvey, the loping handball to Jones, to Peckett. The kick, now it's Pike and Smith. It's Pike who wins out.
Good hands, good mark. Martin Pike, 16 and 4. Great stats for halfway through the third quarter. Pike, Peckett to Jones. Had the space. Paxman can't gather it in. Beveridge, or tried some tunnel ball. That was almost a throw. Umpire lets it go. Stewie Lowe appealing for holding the ball, but free kicks you really have to earn them. 7 to Fitzroy so far and 11 to St Kilda, and that's not a great deal to this stage of the match.
Mark Dwyer on and Johnny Rombotis.
Oh! It's going to come back, I think, yes. Big leap by Paxman. Stewie Lowe looks like old Jolson. Mark taking it half forward. Cripps, good spin out. off the side of the boot. Play on will be the call. Barker couldn't do it. Now Burke from Zilla. Dwyer is sent back onto the ground. Harvey, you nearly caught Harves. He's gone. First mistake he's made all day. Wolf, there's the free kick. Good vision, good kick. Dwyer from Primus. Nick could have done better. Vidovic corrected his own teammate there earlier. Primus, fresh air shot. Like me on the first at Royal Melbourne. Down towards full forward. Marking contest. It comes to Barry Hall. Pike tries to go off the ground. He's really given his all today. Doyle tries to barge his way through. It's going to be a baller. So the endeavour of Fitzroy, not questioned. Their efforts on the forward line, well, we could question those. 22-54. They haven't got fruit for their labours, really. Snap at goal by Joel Smith is off target, out of bounds or behind. It sneaks in for the latter. So he has 2 goals, 1 out of the Saints' tally of 8-7. 8-7 to 3-4. 33 points is the margin. And the kick-in to be taken by Matthew Dent. So just over 5 minutes left in the third quarter. The Royals would need probably 3 goals to give themselves a chance going into the final stanza. Barker from the back tries to mark. Smith is there, so too is Bamford. He looked for somebody going past, and he finds Chandler.
Chandler towards centre forward. Hogg unable to take the low ball. And the kick off the ground, over and out. Marty Worry, number 39 there for Fitzroy. Playing in the forward line, Jamie Elliott, his opponent. So again, the pack of players will just form around this boundary throw-in. Vidovic and Primus. Primus in the front position. Goes at it again himself, gets a quick kick. Burke. Nathan Burke's the worker for the Saints. McDwyer in there with him. Chandler, good give on out. Fitzroy now set up an opportunity at half forward. The tackle on Baldwin's allowed to go by the umpire. The loose ball now. Atkins under pressure, gives it out. Dent. Support from Baldwin again. Peckett doing the tackling. Dent now tackles Brown. Takes him down. Holds up the clearing run from St.Kilda. And once again, Fitzroy working hard across half forward. Need just to be able to get the ball that little bit closer to goal. And they've lost out again. Matthew Primus pleading his case. Vidovic takes the free. Towards the wing, towards low. Takes the ball. Hitches up the strides. Towards half forward. Barry Hall's his target. They all go down. Barker stays upright for Fitzroy and does the tackling on Smith. Ball spills free. Carter. His handball intercepted by Cripps. Carter comes back to clean up to Pike. He'll kick as he does more often than not. Worry steps through. Very well done. Now with poise on the right foot. Finds Dwyer. He's got space to go. He's got the lead. Mellington is out in front, hard against the line, feeds back inboard. Support from Johnson. He was dealt with. Barnsley took it right out of the contest. Johnson comes back to explain why he went out. Wakeland asks another question. Chris still wants to give another answer. And umpire Coates, all he wants to do is throw the ball up.
3 minutes to go in the term. Chance for the Royals to add to their tally. Hogg a snapshot, Dwyer likewise, and I think he's kicked it, Mick. He has, great goal. Against his old club. And that certainly gives them heart. Their 4th goal, 4-4 to 8-7. If they can get one more before three-quarter time, it might give them a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel.
Jeff Hogg doing the hard things too, just able to get the ball out to Mickey Dwyer, and Mickey Dwyer converting the goal. So all that hard work on the forward line has finally paid off.
The last time they got a goal, Stewie Lowe answered almost within 30 seconds. 3 minutes before three-quarter time, 8-7 to 4-4. Dwyer's first goal. Hall, a little give out to Cripps. Kicks to half forward. Beveridge. Oh, a decent old nudge in the back. That was from Paxman. The umpire decides to let it go low. Brown, Beveridge. Saints combining well on the forward line. He kicks and he might have put it through. It looks pretty good from here. It's there. Similar thing, Fitzroy goal, St Kilda the quick reply.
Yeah, Luke Beveridge having a reasonably quiet day. Here we see Stewie Lowe electing to get the ball out to Tony Brown. Tony Brown onto Luke Beveridge, and Luke, cool in a crisis, has managed to drill it through. Not under any real pressure to get the shot away.
Comes off the ground straight away. To be replaced by Lappin.
Congratulatory phone call from Stan Elves. So St Kilda now stretched out to the biggest lead of the afternoon, some 33 points. Fitzroy wanting to get one before the three-quarter time siren, but Wakeland strong at centre half back, turns him back, but only as far as the racehorse Bamford. Away he goes. One touchdown, tosses it up towards the vacant square. Mellington does the right thing and leaves it. They've got it. Scott Bamford. Tremendous acceleration and pace from the centre bounce area. Great goal on the run.
Great goal by Scotty Bamford. I mean, he's pretty fine in build, but gee whiz, his heart as big as the horse. He running through the centre here, has time to put the ball down and kicks it from 4 or 5 metres outside 50. And as you called it, Anthony Mellington, wise enough to let the ball go, and it's bounced through in these slippery conditions to score the goal.
Plays like and looks like Darren Pritchard, doesn't he?
Very good call.
9-7 to 4-4. Scotty Bamford getting another goal for Fitzroy, but another kick out of the centre for St Kilda. Carter. Now it comes to Lappin from Brown. Lappin's kick sees a fist from Pike. Low, looking for a free kick. Zilla made something out of nothing, snaps it go and kicks it. So Stephen Zilla kicking his first goal of the day. And the Saints again get the quick reply, 10-7 to 5-4.
Stephen Zilla's, here we see everybody screaming for a free kick for Stewie Lowe, but I think it might have been the other way. Zilla able to thread his way through the pack and get the shot away with his left foot and score the goal. 15th possession for Zilla, so after a quiet first quarter, he's doing well now.
So the last 7 goals have been scored alternatively by each team. Now it's Fitzroy's turn, but it's Burke for St Kilda, who drives his side into attack, low in the front position. Paxman does well in the body work, but Austin Jones steps out, straightens up, goes bang. Consecutive goals for the Saints. Austin Jones backing up Stephen Zilla's goal. And St Kilda now really stretching the lead out.
Well, they've had 9 separate goal scorers, John.
Yeah, they've been able to slow down the Stewie Lows, but I mean the hard work by Marty Pike and Stephen Paxman has certainly kept the big guns out of the St Kilda forward line from scoring goals, but the little fellas are just picking up the crumbs and able to pick them up at will with, as you say, 9 separate goal scorers and Stewie Lowe only getting one of them.
11-7 to 5-4. Just over a minute left. That'll be a high tackle on Harvey. 16 and 10 his stats. So can the Saints get another one before three-quarter time? Anderson to Bardsley. Good long kick by the former North player. Paxman in front should take the mark. And has done. Game number 99 for him. Paxman's kick to centre wing. Barker has the mark. Well, Fitzroy played well in patches this quarter, but their defence has let them down with the Saints getting a few easy goals. That's out of bounds. Kicked off the ground by Matthew Young. Must have just landed inside. And so a throw in with only a few seconds remaining in the quarter. 14-8, the free kicks in favour of the Saints. Too many for the whole day, bar one quarter. Primus and Vidovic. Burke always seems to go where the footy is. That's why he's a champ. There's another one. Oh, no mark. Stewie Lowe looks at the umpire. It's about as close as he was going to get to the kick. Brown. Kick down towards full forward. It's out of bounds. So 14 seconds remaining as Peter Doyle hands it back to the boundary umpire for the throw-in. Lowe and Paxman. Harvey and Burke. The latter gets the kick in. It's as far as it's going. Dent takes the mark. In front of Brown this time. There's the siren for the end of the third term. The most interesting we've had so far. Fitzroy certainly giving plenty, but they just didn't have the guns on the forward line that the Saints had. And the final change, the final meeting between these two clubs, the Saints 11-7, 73, Fitzroy 5-4, 34. The Saints aiming for a place in the 8 by the end of the round, certainly by the end of the season. A must-win game for them. They lead 73-34. Boyd, good tackle by Hall. Still he goes. In turn tackled by Scotty Bamford. The umpire will ball it up. But Fitzroy's endeavour, as we said during the third quarter, unquestioned. They've had a lot of good players, but they have broken down across the forward line. Atkins had an excellent first half, but was taken out of it a little bit in the third quarter as he applies a good tackle there. Still the ball can't clear the zone. Johnson. Quick hand pass to McCarthy. McCarthy's kick towards half forward. No mark taken. Ball socket off the ground. Young tries to do likewise. Probably not the right play. Baldwin looks for the free kick. There is none. They've been hard to earn today, free kicks. Fitzroy's only had 8 for the afternoon, and St Kilda has had 14.
So the ball thrown up there by umpire McLaren at half forward for Fitzroy. Young wrapped up in the Primus tackle. A big duel between Matthew Primus and Lazar Vidovic. Both players have worked at it extremely hard. Down it comes. Peckett steps out of trouble to Burke. His kick in turn out wide towards the wing. Ziller is his target. Steps away and with acceleration takes off from Nick Carter. The kick's a good one under that pace. Joel Smith at half forward for St Kilda. Swings around onto the left foot. Hall's the target. McCarthy trying to claim it for Fitzroy. Rombotis working at ground level. McCarthy flicks it on out to Carter. His handball in favour of Pike. Left foot just bangs it up towards half forward. Falls into the arms of Vidovic. He bangs it back where it came from. Luck's of fortune for St Kilda because Hall's able to step out of the contest. Kick it on up. Lowe's in the front position. Manhandle there by Paxman. It's allowed to go. Smith off the ground. He's got it. 3 goals to Joel Smith. His best for the season. Very good running.
In these conditions, it doesn't really matter how you get the ball forward as long as you get it moving in your direction. Here we see it ball hits the ground. Really nothing fancy about the way going. Stewie Lowe a bit unlucky not to get a kick there. Ball comes to ground and Joel Smith able to, in a way, just tapped it off the ground to give himself a clear shot at it, but the ball carried and went all the way through the goal.
45 points is the difference now. Everett and Lappin looking on. A match-winning lead to the Saints. Joel Smith gets his third. Primus taps down. Atkins is there. Harvey likewise, as he has been all day. Boyd, a quick kick from the congestion to half forward. Good skills by Matthew Young, who's played a blinder across half back. Kicked a goal in the first quarter. Hasn't done too much wrong this afternoon. Fitzroy with numbers. Dent should pick it up ahead of his teammate down there, or his opposition there in Beveridge. Primus to Pike. Morton, haven't seen much of him this afternoon. Maybe that's why. Anderson. Aussie Jones. Smith. Still he goes. Morton's got him. Ball jarred free in the tackle. Pike to Wharf. Now again Pike. And that's better. Johnson. Only blemish on his game today. A couple of marks that he should have taken. He went at them a bit casually. That's being hypercritical though, I suppose. Mellington and Shanahan. And that's out of bounds. So 16 minutes left in the match. The Lions' last home game at the Whitten Oval in their last season as a separate club. Neither ruckman able to get a finger on that one. The boundary umpire really gave it a heave-ho over both of them. So another ball up. But the Saints aiming for a place in the 8, depending on results in other matches. Could just about be there, although their percentage deficit compared to the Tigers is fairly substantial. They're not going to make that up today. So another ball up. both ruckmen pleading their case. Cripps. Now Jones. Brown marks at centre wing. He gets it back to Harvey. Harvey onto Jones. And Morrissey, as I said earlier in the call, he looks like Harvey, he moves like him. And he kicks like him too. It's a raking drop punt down towards Ziller in the forward pocket. He's kept it in. He should have had a shot himself, perhaps. Anyway, Stewie Lowe's got the mark.
Good work there for Beveridge, wasn't it? A sharp little kick out to Lowe.
Yeah, sorry, good vision.
Yep.
Stewie Lowe's 7th mark in these conditions, so that's good. I mean, the ball's greasy, not ideal conditions for a big fella that takes most of his marks above his head, but he's still done very well.
He averages nearly 10 marks a game, so he'll probably just get there today. On the goal kicking last year, best and fairest a few years back now, for his 83rd of the season. And he has missed, it looks like, so the crowd goes down again, one behind. Kicked by the Saints champ to 12-8 to 5-4.
So the ball now relayed back to Matthew Dent. Former Sturt player comes in short to Chandler. Just a little give to Rombotis. In towards the centre of the ground. Carter running onto it. Does it sit favourably for him? No. Interference there from Morton. Took it away. Now Peckett along the ground to Young. Very strong and very much in control at halfback, Matthew Young. Zilla the long handball to Burke. Hard at it right throughout the day, Nathan Burke. Keeps it in play. Back inboard, missed Zilla. Bamford coming through. Pike. There's a lot of possessions and actually the ball makes no ground whatsoever. And probably in everyone's favour, it's out of bounds and a boundary throw-in may get us going again. Hall will do the ruck work on this occasion. One of 5 changes into the side. Formerly Murray Rangers under-18 ruckman. Pike steps through for Fitzroy. Steps through a lot of traffic, but the ball still isn't going anywhere. Boyd gets the quick kick. Falls towards Wharf. Right in the centre wing for Fitzroy. Looking down to the forward line. Primus is the target. No, it's Barker. Good body work there from Barker. Bardsley over the top of him. And the umpire comes in to ball it up. Barker, one of the finer players for Fitzroy through what's been a very difficult season. No one's taken more marks in the Fitzroy Guernsey than he this year. Umpire Andrew Coates, very experienced umpire. Throws the ball up in the sand patch. Nathan Burke gets another kick, but this one just skews off the side of the boot, out of bounds on the full. And he's had a lot of the footy today, Burke. 23 kicks and 4 handballs.
Yeah, Mellington was being held, could have almost got a free. Umpire lets it go. Burke in there again. Shanahan's quick kick out of the congestion. Good tackle by Primus. Ball jarred free into the arms of Young. He gets through the sand okay, no problems for him. And the former Hawk gets on his bike pretty quickly. Still he goes. The run of the day from Matthew Young. And he's still going. Pinkerton. Long kick by Young. Down towards full forward, the forward pocket and low. And that will be 50, you would think. Cue John Russo again.
Yeah, well, taking the play to the ground like that is a 50-metre penalty. I would say that that the interpretation was that Stewie Lowe contributed to the fact that he went to the ground, but from up here it certainly looked as though that wasn't the case. Yeah.
The kick is important in the wash-up, but it's only one behind.
Derek Humphrey-Smith was a lot closer than we were.
Umpire's man forever. 12-9 to 5-4. 34 plays 81. But Fitzroy have been better than that, I think. The Saints forward line has just had too many big guns for them. Although hasn't been the star today that you would expect from somebody who's kicked 80 goals for the year, but he's had a lot of assistance from some of the lesser lights like Joel Smith, and I use that term not in a derogatory sense by any manner or means. Wolf. Wakeland in front, gets outmarked by Barker. A free kick, a push.
Asking which player it is.
Wakeland from left half back. Chandler, good effort to mark, and he's been paid it inside the line. The only thing the Saints would be hoping for now is that the showers here aren't cold. I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time it's happened. That's almost a mark to Primus. Just about grabbed that. Not paid.
On so many occasions today, we've seen Matty Primus doing the hard things at the bottom of the pack, getting up off the ground and handing the ball to the field umpire for a field bounce, and he just realises the responsibility on his shoulders.
Well, he's been fantastic today. Had a great deal with Vidovic. Probably got the honours, I reckon, just about. Bardsley kicks up towards midfield. Pike's had a good game. 9-iron shot. Down to Johnny Rombotis. Ball mud bespattered, pretty hard to mark, and they can't. Now Baldwin gets a chance. Baldwin kicks into the pocket. Warry now overruns it. Picked up by Elliott. Almost a spiral punt kick towards centre wing. McCarthy and Hall. All the promising young amateur boxer earlier in his career. Ball kicked down by Fitzroy towards half forward, and Morton has taken the mark. Little rover. As I said, we haven't seen too much of him. We have a Pike though, inside 50, could kick a goal, should kick a goal from there, but he's missed. That is good work down. He's had a good game though, Martin Pike, 22 and 5, and should have kept that off with a goal. It's 12-9 to 5-5.
So for Martin Pike, it has been a tremendous season individually. Last year, somewhat undisciplined at different times for Fitzroy, but has really taken on the responsibility this year. Peckett's kick out finds Brown. From half back, he's kicked towards the wing, but he's dealt with there by Marty Warry after the kick. And so the umpire transferring the free kick downfield, and Lazar Vidovic to take it. Brown off, Keogh on for St.Kilda. Vidovic the kicker. Goes long. It's over Lowe's, Hall's head, Lowe couldn't reach it. McCarthy takes it to Paxman, the new father, to Mellington on the run. He's run a long way, settles, there's a vacant square, bounces. It's not even going to reach the goal line now. Young tries to go for the behind. Baldwin allows it to go out. He claims they went for it deliberately. The umpire asks the boundary umpire to merely throw it in.
Peter Everett back on to replace Barry Hall.
46 points the difference. St Kilda lead. Fitzroy's opportunity, a Young in defence, quick kick. Atkins and Anderson. Beveridge, he goes over the line. Beveridge been a little bit of a goal kicker for St Kilda during the year. 5 times he's picked up 2 goals in a game. Primus just over the back. That's the place to put it now. Johnson goes in hard. A pile of players in amongst it, all stepping out now. And down there somewhere will be the ball.
Just looking at Simon Atkins' stats, they really haven't moved much since half-time when he was one of Fitzroy's prime movers. He's been tagged out of the game really in the last 2 quarters. Elliott goes down. Shanahan's kick to half-back. Wharf and Jones. Wharf does it nicely. Then he had his head taken off. Did well to get a kick up towards full forward. Johnson was the target. Matthew Young again having a great game. Vidovic off 1 step. Kicks up towards half-back. The captain's got it. Tweedy Boyd across the body. And the mark is taken by Pike. One of his better games that I've seen him play. Johnson and Shanahan obviously don't like each other's deodorant. Ball is coming back. What's happened here?
Free kick has been paid from the end zone by Derek Humphrey-Smith and paid where the ball was at the time.
Chandler missed it. Might get a second dig. Goes in solidly to apply a tackle, but it's going to be a ball up. 8 minutes left in the game. The Saints are going to get a percentage boost thanks to the efforts of Nathan Burke and, well, many others. Burke's been in the thick of things again. 23-4. Fantastic game. Rombotis scoops it up. Wharf, Everett. Good tackle by the big fellow. Zilla kicks that mud bespattered ball back to Joel Smith. But just a little bit of a nudge by Stewie Lowe. He looked at the umpire because he thought, as it turned out mistakenly, that he might have given away the free kick.
They're the hard ones, Pete. I mean, Stewie Lowe then really just held his ground. He didn't push, he just held his ground. Admittedly, his arm was up, but he didn't push Stephen Paxman out, just held his...
Let's just watch him.
Here we see it again. The arm's out. No, I still...
You don't want to change your mind?
No, I wouldn't change my mind. Never change my mind.
Last opportunity.
Never change my mind when I see the replay.
Lowe for his third from 35 metres out directly in front. It looks pretty good. It's a goal. So Stewie Lowe gets his third goal for the day. 3-3 he's kicked. 83 for the year now. That was a good block by Everett. That was...
We'll get another look at it.
Yes. Really enabled them to turn it over.
No, I still reckon he's just held his ground.
And there you go, Peter. Now you've learnt, no matter how hard you try, you cannot change the umpire's opinion.
Sometimes I wish I had.
Believe me, I tried. Back in the centre bounce area, Vidovic gets it down. Boyd's handball out to Bamford. He's got space. He steps out, just touches the ball on the ground out on the outer wing. A second time, handball's over the top to Atkins. He unloads a big torpedo towards the square. Shanahan's the spoiler. At ground level, looks like Baldwin on the left foot. Didn't quite get it around far enough. And in actual fact, the mark has been paid to Jamie Elliott. The 5 metre grace given by the umpire. Kick out towards the halfback flank. Everett kicks it out of the sand. Rombotis hard in at it. Keogh goes down as a result of that. Shanahan flicks it on with a big fist, only as far as Pike. He's trying to step through the heavy traffic to Doyle, to McCarthy, Long. They need Mellington to mark. He can't, so Barsley at ground level cleans up for the Saints. Stepping through the traffic across towards the members' side, but it's all Fitzroy. Rombotis should pick it up and away he goes.
Well, he picked it up all right. He wasn't going too far, though. Beveridge. Good tackle by Bamford, Pike and Burke. And both of those players have really been stars for their sides today.
And Pete, that's the quality of Nathan Burke's game I like, is he's just so hard in at the contest all the time. Whether he's winning the ball himself or tackling an opposition player.
Or shepherding
he's strong.
for a teammate.
I just love that fella.
23-4 for Burke. Young. Good kick. One step towards centre wing. Lowe. Gets it over to... No, he won't get it over to Joel Smith. Actually kicked it straight into Chandler. Ricochets off him and it goes out of bounds.
Stewie Lowe actually tried to draw Chandler then so as he could get the ball over to Tony Brown or Joel Smith, but he just drew the player a little bit too well and he was able to spoil.
Lowe's going to contest the ruck duels from the boundary with Steve Paxman. He's done a pretty good job today on him. Wins that. Tackle by Cripps effective. Nathan Burke and Doyle the last to get up. 5.5 minutes remaining in the match. Be a good percentage booster for the Saints. Pike, 23rd kick. Very good game from him. Peckett taken out of the marking contest down there. Picked up by Aussie Jones. Vidovic. Zar Vidovic to half forward. Doyle slips at the crucial moment. Gives out the handball. McCarthy rides his opponent into the ground. It's Keogh, I think. Yes, it is. Keogh, the last to get up. Just came back onto the ground. Everett, he's interchanged with him a couple of times, but this time, no, he won't give it to him. I thought he was going to hand pass him. Out of bounds. Again, right on 50. Official attendance today, 7,781. Fitzroy's last home game at the Whitten Oval. the big auction coming up soon, so plenty of Lions memorabilia, I dare say, is going to be on sale. Chandler and Burke, all players just going through the motions now, really, as the clock ticks down to full time.
So St Kilda now will pick up their 9th win for the season, but have to return to the Whitten Oval next week to take on Fitzroy. Harvey steps out, a handball. Cripps' kicks high in the air. Paxman has the front position, takes the mark this time on low.
You should wonder, Terry, if the 2 heavy games here on a heavy ground are going to take anything out of them.
Stan Elves really will have to manage training during the week. But at this occasion, it's Fitzroy through Dent, then to Wharf. His kick towards centre half forward, but Wakeland. One of the Wakeland twins playing today. On to Jones. The forward handball to his mate in Joel Smith. Will he give it to Brown? The kick falls short. Cleaned up by Pike. The look away handball, not a good one. Rombotis back to Pike. Fitzroy run towards the wing, have Bamford out wide, he takes it. Chandler's inboard. Dummies towards him, then eventually does go to him. Back to Pike. Handball again. Pike staying in the contest right throughout. Bamford back to Chandler. The 3 working it together. They're going to get wrapped up. Bardsley couldn't do it. Anderson intercepts, spins it back. Pike has to do it again, and it's a solid chase for the ball.
Marty Pike's almost knocked up getting kicks and handballs today. He could barely run for the boundary line on that occasion. He's run from the full-back line all the way up to the centre wing, taking and giving handballs and kicks.
He definitely has been Fitzroy's best player right throughout the day. Atkins was in the first half, but Pike very consistent the entire 4 quarters.
Primus has battled well in the ruck too. He's going to be a star of the future. Here he is again, Martin Pike. He had lead in his boots before, but you can understand that. Anybody who can run out there for 4 quarters is a superman. And as I said, Stan Elves during the week, look at him. Mud wrestling, that's what it is. Stan Elves is going to have to give them a light week, you'd reckon, on the track. Keogh, quick hand pass, Doyle through the congestion, Cripps, Peckett, they combine again. Cripps, Anderson this time. He goes off the ground, the former Hawk. Gets it back to Zilla. Paxman. 25-metre hand pass. Well, Atkins has been in the land of the missing in the last 2 quarters. Anderson's done a good job on him. This is Wharf. Wharf's kicked the half forward, and Primus taking a mark in front of Vidovic. They've had a great duel in the ruck, those two. Probably nullified each other to a certain extent. Young. Well, he's been one of St Kilda's best too, and so has Aussie Jones. Low, a long way from goal. So plenty of pluses for the Saints today, and I think if they come out of it without any major injury worries, which on a ground like this is always a worry, then they'll be more than pleased because they've got a good percentage boosting win. Jones, again, Burke, Chandler over the top, out of bounds, and the umpire says throw it in. So 1 minute and 3 quarters left in the match, and oh gee, Nathan Burke not happy. He brushed the trainer away there. You think they were down by 2 points at a time on. Such is the commitment of one of the game stars. Dent. Paxman. Paxman at half back. Burke still he goes, applies a tackle. Over the head of Pike. He's a bit quicker this time, Martin Pike. Oh, Keogh nails him. Still Paxman.
Great contest.
Great terrific. Contest. It was a terrific contest, but it's all for Troy. And, well, I'm not giving the votes today, but I tell you what, you have to put Pike in, wouldn't you?
Marty Pike's hands on his knees now. He can hardly move.
Rombotis kicks to half back.
Wharf's a player at the bottom for Fitzroy. Holds it in there, and you can see umpire Andrew Coates at the bottom of the screen award the free kick against Rowan Wharf there for not getting the ball out. Austin Jones to take it.
If he elects to dive on the ball like that, he's in trouble if he doesn't hit it out immediately.
Jones. 20 kicks is not a bad afternoon's work from the wing and half-back flank. Towards Lowe. He couldn't complete the mark. Burke at the back. Has 2 goes at it. Then has a snapshot which goes away to the right and just the one behind. Nathan Burke.
24 kicks and 4 handballs. Not a bad day at the office, is it?
Burke, Harvey.
Oh,
Matthew Young.
Rep for Pike today, 24 and 8.
Yeah.
Been a good game.
Paxman takes the mark. Missed playing last week as his wife gave birth to a baby daughter. Primus. Big fella on the right foot, tosses it up now towards half forward. Barker in the front position, couldn't complete it. Marty Worry bursting through. Young's there with him for St Kilda. Back into it, everybody goes. Cripps, 36, just flicks it out towards Elliott. The umpire allows it to go, but siren time. The Saints are home.
Well, the Saints just too many good players around the ground, and they ran out winners by 53 points it was in the end. 13-10, 88 to 5-5, 35. So that will be a good percentage booster for them, but the endeavour of Fitzroy right throughout the day, absolutely terrific. Taking nothing away from the Roy boys. They really did have a dip, and that's great sportsmanship by Harvey and Boyd. They tried all day. Matthew Primus, he gave everything in the ruck. Great duel with Lazar Vidovic. But the Saints just had too many good players, Harvey and Burke, and when Atkins went out of the game after half-time, he was tagged by Anderson, and Anderson did a terrific job, and they lost a lot of drive because Simon Atkins before half-time really was keeping Fitzroy in it around the packs. So repeating the final scores here at the Whitten Oval, the Saints 13-10, 88, defeating Fitzroy 5-5, 35 before 7,781 fans. And historic day really, because it's the Roy's last home game at the Whitten Oval as they run down towards the end of their last season as an individual club.